Well, we'll call the meeting to order. Anybody have an item to remove from the consent agenda?
I do not.
Okay, wonderful. Motion to approve the order of items for the regular agenda, consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Wonderful, motion passed. From my short president's report would be simply an acknowledgement of how fantastic I thought the exhibit we had from the Daughters of the American Revolution. I don't know if you guys had a chance to go in there, but it was literally right in the middle of the strike zone for, I think, our kind of target audience here in Bloomfield Hills.
Yeah.
And it was patriotic and well done, and people, there's a lot of work put into it. Thanks to all the staff and everybody else for that, because that was fantastic. I'll turn it over to you.
All right. Well, my first bit of news is good news that the elevator is fixed.
Oh my god.
Yippee.
Yeah.
Finally.
Wow.
We had just set in motion plans to stop taking donations. We had signs made up and put out at the road, and then the next morning TK showed up with the part that we needed and they fixed the elevator. So by 11 a.m. this morning it was working and we
Amazing.
stopped everything else. So yay.
Good.
Great, yeah. I am very pleased to announce that we are going to be hosting author Patrick Ryan on April 22nd.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
This is similar to the author visit with Shelby Van Pelt when we partnered with West Bloomfield Township Public Library in March of 2024. We're doing the same thing again, but this time we're hosting it in our neighborhood, so it's going to be hosted at Temple Bethel, which is a huge venue, and we'll be able to accommodate the hundreds of people that I'm sure will come. April 22nd at 6:30. If you haven't read Buckeye, I highly recommend it. It's a really great novel. Have you read it?
Just finished it a couple days ago.
Yeah, it's very beautiful.
Is it set in Ohio?
It is.
Okay, because
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
It debuted on the New York Times bestseller list at number 4. So it's a good book. And I hope you can all attend that special night.
We're gonna have my concert.
There is a chamber music concert this Friday, the 20th at 7 p.m. Just putting that on your radar. There's also a Bloomfield Historical Society program happening on Sunday. There's a flyer in your pass-around folder about it. It's the speaker is Tim Dye, who's the executive director of the Pontiac Transportation Museum, and he'll be talking about the Pontiac brand. And speaking of the Historical Society, I'm not sure how many of you know John Marshall. He was kind of a founding, nobody knows John. He was like a founding father of the Historical Society and wonderful researcher, did a lot of research on homes in Bloomfield Township and other topics. He passed away last week.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, so,
Is he the one who created the book?
yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
and a lot of those, I think I met him once, because he was saying that so many of them are no
Probably
longer.
did. Yeah.
Okay. It's
There's
an
a-
interesting book. I didn't know there were that many old homes in
Yeah.
Bloomfield Township.
He's a very lovely human being and meticulous researcher. We've already got a lot of his research. That book is one thing, and he's given us a lot of other bits of his research, and his daughters have already said that they're willing to, give over whatever else
Oh, nice.
they can find, so.
And John Marshall is, okay.
Yeah. And then I just wanted to let you all know that the library's state aid application was submitted to the Library of Michigan earlier this year. This is something that we have to fill out every year in order to receive state aid, which you see usually in our budget review. This is Catherine's job to do this application. It's quite extensive. It requires a lot of data and statistics that she has to collect from various places and put into this report, and then it goes to the Library of Michigan and it's kept on file there. In fact, you can look up statistics from every library for many, many, many years going back, and it's all based on that state aid application. So just wanted you to know that that's been handled.
And we get 48 grand.
And we get 48 grand.
This isn't for the penal
No.
fines, this
No.
is something different, okay.
Yeah.
Does somebody get more than us?
Oh, I'm sure.
I don't know how that's decided.
It's per capita, so yeah.
For the big one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's all I have to say.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. So turning to the budget review, and a couple of questions about some of the spend. Starting on page 4, you'll see here that we paid C2AE 25 grand. And Tara and I have discussed kind of how we're gonna watch the budget on this. You wanna take that one?
Sure, yeah. I'll have Kathy track each invoice that we pay for C2AE and we'll keep tabs on that. If you all wanna see that each month, I could put it in the board packet with maybe a summary of what activity we've done on the design project.
I think that's a
That
good
month.
idea.
Yeah, and we'll just keep track of that, and then as construction starts, it'll be more complicated. This part's pretty straightforward, but.
Will the managers who we hired, are they going to bill us directly, or will is everything going to be funneled through C2?
Well, either that or McCarthy and Smith,
And they're the
They're the-
managers?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when do they start?
We are meeting with them on Thursday,
Okay.
our first meeting with
Have
them.
you actually signed a contract?
Nope.
Okay.
Not yet. They wanted to first finalize the budget to make sure that we've got the correct scope before we signed a contract.
Okay.
So Catherine and I are meeting with them on Thursday.
Okay.
And I'll just go through all mine. On page 5, there were 2 vendors I was curious about. One is Online Computer Library Center and the other was Playaway Products.
Online Computer Library Center is better known as OCLC. That's its very old name, and that's how we have it in our vendor database, so we just keep saying that. But it's a vendor of a variety of library products, and we buy a product called Easy Proxy from them, which is what allows you as a township resident to access our databases from outside of the library. It recognizes your library card and where you are and knows that it's okay for you to do that.
Authentication.
And then Playaway is a vendor of these, it's like an audiobook built into a picture book.
Oh, the Wonder Book?
Wonder Books, yeah.
Okay, wonderful, thank you. On page 5, on the gift fund, I don't usually focus a lot on this because it's short dollars, but can you talk about how we decide how to disperse that money and who some of these vendors are, including in particular the staffing organization committee? Why would we pay them? Miss Edna Riley and the Lake House Bakery, all that stuff.
Yeah, sure. Well, the gift fund is primarily money that we get from the Friends, so usually there's an ask from the department head, it goes on the wish list, and then the Friends grant us that money. We assign a number to it, and then as that money is spent by the department head, they make a note of that number, and then it's tracked by Kathy. Some of the items here, this is mostly for programs, collections. The staff organization committee is $1,000 that I gifted to the staff organization committee for the party
Okay.
that we had, because we have some gift funding on our books from endowment funds that were gifted to us that were specifically for staff morale purposes. So I offset the cost of that party a little bit for them.
Very nice.
What else do we have on here? Recollect is our online database for local history archives, which you will see a preview of in the coming months. I am gonna have Laura Crayley come and give you guys a demonstration of that. Edna Riley is a program presenter for something, I can't remember what.
Irish concert, I believe.
I think so too.
That one?
The Lake House Bakery, same thing, they're doing a program for us coming up. So mostly that's program presenters.
Wonderful, thank you. Anybody else have questions?
I did have a couple. Also on page 5, the analytics.
Analytics is an IT consultant, and we also get a lot of licensing for various IT products for them.
Okay. And just a couple down from that, City of Warren.
That was to pay for a lost library item that we borrowed through Melcat.
Thank you.
How does it happen that there are 3 payroll periods?
It's just the way
Just
the
the way it
calendar works.
falls.
Yep, exactly.
Anybody else? Okay, if you go to page 7, you look at our budget, on the revenue side, our investment earnings are down, but again, that's not because we forecasted poorly. We have to follow the guidance, and it just takes the historical amount. Interest rates have dropped, so nothing surprising there. On the project side, that's a good thing that we're down, we're much below our budget for the year. And Tara and I were talking about what is that gonna look like, when we see it in the next budget package?
You mean the big project, the design project?
Yeah, where does that go?
It's gonna be in the CIP. And so it'll come out of the line on here that's called projects.
So it'll go in there, so that'll be a big number next year.
It'll be a big number, yeah.
Wonderful. And then on page 9.
And the rest of those taxes are gonna come in.
They're gonna come in. The
Yeah.
deadline, I think, already passed.
I think it was yesterday
It
or
was
something,
yesterday.
but like
Yeah.
it's, yeah,
Late fees start now.
yeah, it's just so strange to think that, it's all gonna be there.
It's gonna be there.
Yeah. Well, I had to wonder, cause I went by on Telegraph and I saw that people were going in, I was wondering what was going on, they wanted to just drop it off there, so.
And do you wanna address page 9?
Yeah. So Shane asked a question about on the asset allocation page, the RBC capital investments annual yield, which is listed as, what is it, 3 point something? I already have it.
6.4, yeah.
And Shane questioned that was a big drop between last month and this month. It turns out that rate had been calculated for the month, not the year.
Oh, okay.
So the real rate is 4.09%. And we updated that in the packet on the website
Okay.
and I'm just letting you know.
Good catch, Shane.
Anything else on the budget?
I just wanted to ask about that Sharnoff gift.
Mm-hmm.
What happens when it matures?
We have to decide what we're gonna do with it and I just keep rolling it
Okay.
over because we don't have a good.
We've done that before. Yeah, okay.
A couple times, yeah. There might be something we could use it for in the design project.
Yeah, cause she was quite an artist. Did you know her?
I didn't, but
Oh.
I will say that people give a gift and want it used.
Mhm.
Right.
So it's great to be able to build,
Right.
but people want.
She also is a great, if you go by her house, she brought from California, I think they're redwoods, but it's very surprising, enormous trees. And they, fortunately, the people who bought the house did not cut them down. These things are massive. There's someone who lives fairly close to you, yeah, on the other
I was on the
side.
personnel committee
Yeah, on
with
the other
her,
side. But she also
yeah.
loved landscaping, so.
And the last time it matured, I inquired about that, but we
It
just
could
weren't
be,
ready to
yeah,
make a
it
decision.
could be really nice to be able to use some of that gift
Yeah.
in a
I
way that would
agree.
be meaningful
Right.
for her and her family.
Mhm.
Well, we'll talk about it in November.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Then I will read the motion on page 10. I move to approve monthly cash disbursements in the form of checks numbers noted for a grand total of $730,235.82 in the categories noted as well.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. Which takes us to call to the public. Nicole, our starring public member.
Hello, I'm just here from SOC.
Hi
Thank you
there.
for having me, and that's all I have. Thank you for being.
Yes,
Jinx.
Do we have any unfinished business?
We do not.
Wonderful. That takes us to new business and I'll let you kick that one off.
Yeah, so we are talking about our fees schedule. This is our annual review of the fees. Hang on, let me get there, we go.
Page 26.
Thank you. So each year we review this. It's just a good library practice to review these fees. As you know, it used to be a more complicated schedule when we were collecting fines, but those are now gone, so it simplified things quite a bit. But we still do charge some money for some services, and one of those is if you take out a book and you never return it. We do eventually bill people for that. And so the only change, every year the department heads pour over this schedule and they make their recommendations. We talk about it at one of our department meetings, and then I bring it to you all. So the only change that we are proposing this year is when somebody, there's one on the check register this month, somebody checked out a book, they never returned it, they got billed for it, and then they found it and they brought it back and they get a refund. Previously, we said that we would not refund the $5 service charge that we also include in that fee, but we've decided that we should refund it to them anyway. So that's one change we're proposing. And then the other change is just to add the term ILL to where it talks about if you check out a Melcat item, we don't set that fee, that's set by the lending library. And we wanted to add ILL to that, so it was clear that those both kinds of items. We also review the circulation and use policy, which sets up who is eligible to get a card from this library and check out items and how many and all of that. The point of that policy is to make sure that Bloomfield Township residents are getting priority service for checkout. And we are still at 92% of all library materials being checked out by Bloomfield Township residents, so that seems to be okay. Our meeting room rental fees, we review those every year. We're pleased to be a place in the community where people can gather and meet, and we think that our meeting room rates are fair. They're really affordable and a nice alternative to like a hotel or a conference center.
And is 383 times up or down or about steady?
It's up, it's been going
Okay,
steadily
good.
up since the pandemic, yeah.
Good.
And then just the annual review of our collection agency use. We use a firm called Unique Management Services to retrieve long overdue items and long unpaid bills, and they're pretty effective. As you can see, they've recovered over $4,000 for us and 23 long overdue items. They work exclusively for libraries, and they have a very gentle.
Kinder and gentler.
Nobody's sneak-capping anybody.
Not the Seinfeld episode where, yeah, okay, the librarian comes back
No.
in 50 years.
Nobody's getting whacked for it.
Nobody's getting whacked over library books.
Man.
Yeah, so that's all. Any questions about that? There's a motion on page 27, if you approve.
I move to approve the fiscal year 2026-2027 fee schedule as presented with implementation to begin on April 1st, 2026.
Thank you.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Scroll, scroll, scroll,
Yeah,
scroll.
that was a lot of pages.
It's on
45, 46.
Oh,
How many pages were there when we were having the fees? Lines.
It was about the same. It was just, there was more to each of those pages. All right, back to me, huh? Okay, I am requesting to hire MGT, which is the same firm that did our comp and class study a few years ago, to conduct a staffing assessment. And the reason I'm asking you all for this permission is typically when we hire a third-party vendor like this for a consulting service, we do an RFP process. But I'm asking if we can bypass that process and hire MGT directly for a couple of reasons. First of all, the quote that I was given, and I'll talk more about what the assessment survey is and my goals for that. The quote was $11,250, so it's well under the $25,000 limit that we usually go out for RFP for. Also, we know MGT, they did our comp and class study, they know us. We liked their work on that study. They're really easy to work with. They already know our organization, and we thought this would just be a natural progression to hire them to do this assessment. The goal for this assessment is not to eliminate any jobs or fire anybody or anything like that. I just want to take a look at our staffing and our org chart and make sure we're staffing the right places and with the right people. Our budget, as you see each month, we spend 70% of that money on staffing, and so we want to make sure we're using that resource properly, correctly, in the best way to support library operations. Also, we have some positions, such as our 30-hour positions. We have 4 of those positions still left on our books, and our promise to the library board was that we would eliminate those positions through attrition. So when somebody leaves a 30-hour position, that's 10 hours that we lose. So with 4 of those positions still on our books, that's 40 hours of staff time and money that we could maybe transition into some other position. And then there are other positions that as they become vacant, we might wanna rethink and reconsider and maybe assign differently. Also, the library design project is going to require that we move some service desks around and staff them a little bit differently, so we thought this would be a good time to think through those tasks and those assignments. I think hiring a third party to help us do this work is good for a couple of reasons. This firm has a lot of experience, especially with public libraries, but also government entities, and can help us identify best practices that we might not be aware of. They provide a neutral third party unbiased view of our library and org chart. And I think it will provide us a lot of data to help us make decisions and support the rationale behind those decisions, and help us come up with a plan for implementing these decisions. We've talked about doing this study. Catherine and I have talked about it several times. We've talked about it with the management group. Our HR committee that was developed after the strategic plan, they also recommended doing a study like this. And since the design project is in the construction documents phase, we don't have a lot of involvement with that at this point. We've got a lull in our frantic schedule, so we thought, why not throw another project in? It will take about 7 to 8 weeks to complete this project, and the department heads are all supportive, so I'm asking you for your support.
I know that they're in Florida, so I'm assuming that they conduct most of the interviews via Zoom and that you'll steer them to the people that they should talk to, or?
Absolutely,
Okay.
yeah. Katie Yee, who's the person we worked with previously, and I think she would be the person we work with on this. She's in Illinois.
That's what I thought I saw too, but then I saw the Florida
Yeah,
address, so I
yeah.
was a little confused.
Yeah.
That's their corporate office.
Oh, gotcha.
So
Okay.
Rachel Skaggs is the person you're referring to, is in Illinois?
No, it's Katie Yee. She's not, I don't think
Katie Yee,
she's listed
sorry.
in this.
Okay.
But either way, through the magic of Teams and Zoom, we
Yeah.
can collaborate.
And she's much closer, obviously, too. Well, it depends on Illinois, I guess, we're in it.
Tara, when we had our personnel committee meeting, and I wrote a note, but I don't have it with me. You referred to something in terms of having the study. You said something about tight areas.
Like staffing wise, scheduling wise, you mean?
Yeah, what did you mean?
Yeah, we've got 100 staff, and we're open 7 days a week, 68 and a half hours a week. We have 5 service desks to staff. You'd think 100 people would be enough, but there are times when it's really tight. So if there's a vacation or someone's out on medical leave, it just takes a little bit to upset that apple cart. And we're always like, why is this so hard? We have so much. Why are we trying, so hard to find people? So it just feels like there's some kind of imbalance somewhere.
Okay.
Is that staffing then under the auspices of the department heads?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then they reach out to you if there's some critical issue, okay.
Yeah.
Anybody got any questions? I was lucky enough to attend the personnel committee, so I got the preview on all of this, and it seems like a good idea. It's a very reasonable amount of money to be spending, so.
I think it is. I'm guessing maybe that the fee might have been lower because they already have a base
Some
of
of the things, yeah.
relationship
Could be.
with our organization,
Friend prices, maybe.
maybe. Sure, let's go with that. I agree. I think it sounds like a wise decision.
Great.
There's a motion on page 47, should anyone care to read it?
I move to hire MGT Impact Solutions LLC, 4320 West Kennedy Boulevard, Tampa, Florida, to conduct a staffing assessment for Bloomfield Township Public Library.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you so much.
When will this start again? I know, did you say that?
We thought we'd start at April 1st.
Okay,
So that's the timeline that I gave Katie, and she said that worked for her.
good, okay.
In 7 weeks or so.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay,
I'll keep you posted.
I'm sorry, how will they anticipate the rejiggering of all of our floor plans, and if they start April 1st?
When Catherine and I meet with them for a kickoff, we'll mention that as one of the goals of the assessment, and then we'll work with them to figure out how to move forward with that. I mean, maybe it's something where they just give us the data that we need to make those decisions.
Okay.
I don't know exactly how it will work.
I think it seems like a natural flow to be making that change because we kind of knew some of those physical changes were potentially going to necessitate personnel realignment in some ways. Good and I think all for the good, but it's still a change.
It's change, yeah.
So I think to be having this firm come in and consult about those things, I think gives it even more credibility. You know?
I think so, yeah.
Seems like the
It'll-
timing is good.
I'm hoping it'll just, give us some things to think about, questions that we can consider and then make good decisions going forward. Great, thank you so much.
So other?
Is there any time frame on when they're going to remove? I know it's been so frozen, but now that everything's unearthed in those 4 urns, especially the greenery, if that could just be cut back so it doesn't look like dead.
I can tell Tom to
Okay.
have.
Cause I tried
somebody
pulling
see-
them out when and
No,
they're
they
still
like-
frozen.
yeah.
But give them a couple more, but it's supposed to go back down to 20, so if you could just
Right.
trim out the brown,
Okay,
they would be fine. They're just not, they're unsightly.
I'll tell Tom.
Okay.
Any other,
Do you want to bring it up here?
yeah, sure.
Okay, so we had the pleasure last week of bringing the design committee folks together along with Judy, and Tara had put together a meeting at Cranbrook to talk more fully about and I think we talked about this last month, the project for the fireplace surround. And just as a reminder, we're looking to, in the design project, to reconfigure the fireplace slightly to make it more functioning workability for it, but also to open it on both sides so that folks can feel a sense of warmth and I think reading pleasure.
Cozy atmosphere.
Coziness from both sides. So Judy had worked with Cranbrook and also Pewabic Tiles was something that we had been planning and talking about the possibility of working with them for a number of months. And Judy put a couple things together here. So there was a very prolific artist, Ruth Adler-Schnee, who was a part of Cranbrook and a part of Detroit's history for many, many years. And she's more of a design, fiber,
Textile, that's what she's known for.
and so the rich history with Cranbrook, mid-century modern design. Judy got the archives and collection to open up their papers and drawings from Ruth so that we could get some inspiration. So we met with the library, so it was Tara and Judy, some of the folks from the design committee, met with the archivists at the Cranbrook collections and archives to show us some of these designs. C2AE, Chloe came to join us as well. And it was incredibly inspirational from a color standpoint to a design standpoint. And then thinking back to the visit you had with Pewabic, how those things could be put together to provide something that's pleasing and reminiscent of our relationship with Cranbrook, mid-century modern design, and the history that Ruth brings to the community. And I was also told, I think, Catherine, you might have been standing there when she said, didn't she say that we have a textile from Ruth in the library?
Well, Chloe said that there's patterns on our furniture that's been selected. That's a Ruth design.
But didn't
Yeah.
she say something?
That's existing?
Yes, that we have something here that's a textile and it wasn't from Chloe, it was from the archivist.
Deb?
I think
Yeah,
what she
from
was
Deb,
saying was
sorry,
that,
yes.
I thought what she said was that Ruth had some drawings of the library in her
Oh, she did, yeah.
papers.
She did say that, but maybe I misunderstood, but anyway, there's some
There's
history
connection.
and collaboration and connection with Ruth, and it just seems like this is a really good way for us to pull it all together. So that is moving forward, and I just felt pleased. Thank you so much for arranging it, because I thought it was certainly an inside view of Cranbrook's collection, and it's a good project, I think, for the library to be collaborating upon with our neighbors.
Well, we do have a good connection with them right now with
do.
our,
Yeah.
library and them. And Deb promised to become a library card holder.
Good.
So actually, their employees could be
Yes, so can
be
the
card
students.
holders here, and I think she didn't know that.
She didn't,
Yeah, so
yeah.
that's great.
Yeah,
Yeah, we probably should get that out there a little bit more,
yeah, we could do a
internalized.
campaign on it, yeah.
Good job.
Any more other? The only one I had is, I note that our next meeting is St. Patrick's Day.
No, we'll have to all
So
agree
Libby will
on
have to come up with something.
something.
We expect you all in green.
I mean, well, I think somebody can't make it, is that right? So we-
I won't be here.
Oh,
Two
so,
people.
So we got the
so we
four
have
of
to have the four of us show up.
And that's our budget, so
And it's not gonna
I
like
need
that.
a quorum.
So it'll be good that we'll wear green for our budget meeting.
True.
I can only wear like 1/8 because I'm just 1/8 Irish, we're all
Okay.
Swedish.
Okay, well, this is the meeting that we review the director's performance, so request an executive session, noting the time is 7:02.
So moved.
Second.
All fair?
Aye.
Welcome back, everyone, it's great you're here. We're pleased to be able to have our director's tenure for another year, which is wonderful news for all of us. And unless anyone else has any comments or questions, I'll take a motion to close the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.